Federalism and New Deal. So today's modern federalism is made from is made the way it is due to programs like the New Deal in the 1930s after the stock market crashed and all of the economy sunk. Great Depression, unemployment was around 40-50%. So it was a really bad time, and everyone kind of knew that the national government would have to step up its power tremendously to be able to actually do something about this problem. And so the national government was able to, and FDR, decided to pass the alphabet programs, so, because of the initials, such as the NRA or the Civilian Conservation Corp, CCC. And so they try to pass a bunch of these new deals, trying to get unemployment and trying to get both states and national government and sometimes the city government to cooperate with each other on all levels so that they could get out of this depression and be able to make more revenue and be able to just survive really as a country. And a lot of people were with this, a lot of politicians were with this due to the Democrats more being in control because of the Republican stock market crash, or it was seen as a Republican stock market crash because a Republican was in office. And so it seemed like a Republican stock market crash. So FDR was on it, the democratically controlled Congress is up for all these programs. However, the Supreme Court ruled that some of the programs were too far-reaching for the national government to have on control of their citizens' lives. And they were more of a keep your hands away from the economy, keep your hands away from citizens' lives. And so they ruled that some of these programs that FDR wanted to pass were unconstitutional. And that kind of made FDR really mad. So FDR tried to add 4 new justices to the Supreme Court so that they could have a majority ruling and he could be able to pass these programs without having to worry if they were unconstitutional or not. But that didn't happen, and Congress and the citizens were kind of really mad that that actually did go, that FDR wanted that to go through. So it was a violation of trust, and it was a violation of one of the branches of government, and the executive branch trying to create more power for the executive branch by lessening the power of the judicial branch. And so what ended up happening was the courts kind of got the message and allowed some far-reaching efforts to get passed, and it kind of shaped the way the national government is now. Allowed to have a little bit more control in the lives of others, and also working cooperatively with the state and with city government trying to get stuff done. And this type of federalism was called cooperative federalism, and it kind of happens between the New Deal and the Great Society of Lyndon B. Johnson. And so it was just cooperation between federal government, the state government, and local governments trying to produce some peaceful coexistence, basically, and make the general welfare great for all. And you can see it in examples of Lyndon B. Johnson's Great Society when he tried to wage a war on poverty. And so he issued a bunch of categorical grants, which were grants that would go to a specific purpose. And so this federally funded program was given to a specific purpose and specific type of government to try to combat poverty in that area. And so it kind of took away the power of the state if they were to get a block grant and just a huge sum of money to go where it's needed, and increase the amount of national government in the lives of citizens and the decisions that the states make, because states now can say you have this money and you could use it here. And this was seen in Wisconsin when Wisconsin could have had a high-speed rail that went Madison and Milwaukee, and Governor Scott Walker said, we don't really need the high-speed rail, there was no use for a high-speed rail, and he let the categorical grant go to Illinois for a high-speed rail. And many think it's a good decision, many think it's a bad decision. I don't think it's any decision. I just think he was trying to figure out what's best for his state, and if he thought that not spending a whole bunch of money that he didn't need was good for the state and good for the national government, good for him. He probably, being a Republican, would have liked a more block grant type ideal so that he could appropriate different sums of money to different areas that he felt were needed to help get his state back rolling, help literacy efforts in Milwaukee, and help make sure that the water's not contaminated, and make sure transportation industry is set and all the roads were nice and smooth. But he just didn't want to do categorical grants, and that was an idea of cooperative federalism not working. But it works. It doesn't work. That's government. Speaking of things not working, government shutdown. Day 8. I'm sorry to all those who are furloughed, especially those at NASA, where 97% of funding is pretty much being cut, and that really stinks. Because when we're not innovating, we are moving backwards. And it stinks that we have to move backwards in a time where we should be able to have leapless bounds that we are just experiencing all over. I mean, if you look, we are able to control another person's movements with another person's mind, have a whole variety of robots that are able to do amazing feats. One that doesn't lose balance when it's pushed over, can have one leg standing up, one that can run 20 miles per hour on 4 legs, and it's just amazing what all this science and all this technology and innovation is doing. And it stinks that something has to be cut, and that we have some disagreements on over whether or not we should fund specific programs on how reaching the government should be. And it hurts innovation, and it hurts everybody, and it stinks that we're not thinking about the future. We're trying to solve our problems in the present, and maybe if we thought more about the future, and for people like my generation, we'd be able to set aside and innovate more and try to become the greatest country that we once were, instead of trying to play catch up. Because we could do a lot of things better. But we're just trying to get things right. Horrible school production.